When we think of Wano, the prominent events that come to mind are the Onigashima raid, the amazing fights, Gear 5, Roger's laugh, Momonosuke's development, the Odin flashback as a whole, the end of the old regime at the hands of the new age. Wano, even while being an arc of hits and misses, highs and lows, the highs were some of the greatest you will see in fiction, period. But all this amazing stuff or the abysmal stuff in Mono, all of it obviously took all the spotlight, resulting in fans overlooking or not appreciating many things, many character moments that would have been celebrated in any other less dense arc or any arc that came before Wano in general. The ones that were really overlooked or, as I said, not appreciated enough are the Straw Hats and Acceptance. In this video, we will discuss Robin and Chopper, the mom and the son of the crew. Starting with Robin. So when I say acceptance, acceptance of what? Acceptance of her being a demon, obviously. But wasn't the entire NES lobby the Robin flashback specifically to show us Robin was no demon? The title of a demon was given to her by the world government, a false image. Same with Chopper. When he accidentally eats the devil fruit and thus is cast aside among the reindeers, cursed and feared among the humans until he met Dr. Hirolok and eventually Luffy. Well, yes, those flashbacks serve that purpose. When we start with the Robin flashback, it literally starts on the chapter 391. The girl they called a demon. Through her flashback, we completely understand why she was ready to die in Alabasta, why she had finally given up hope. Oda starts her story showing us how she is treated by her entire hometown, the kids calling her a monster, her uncle kind of standing up for her but failing every time. It's futile to save a demon, of course. At that point, she hasn't completely accepted herself, her identity as a demon. She still holds out hope, as it's clearly evident through Saul. The Robin that joins the crew first, she has no intention of forming any connections to them, any connections to Luffy. She is just there for Luffy because he is a D, and because he saved her. So Luffy now has to carry the burden of a demon, like everyone who has suffered for Robin before, Saul being the example. But because of what happens in Ohara with not only Robin, but all she held dear to her, being called demons, all she held dear was exterminated, as some sort of a plague. The people she called friends, her mother, Saul, everyone was considered a demon and a criminal and an enemy to the world and to everyone who would meet them, who would hold any connections to them. Her mother, Professor Clover, were killed as some sort of a righteous act. So, with time and betrayals, Robin grew to believe the dream of O'Hara was futile and she was really a burden on this earth, on anyone she was associated with, until, as One Piece fans say, Luffy comes along. Robin's mother had told her to live, but since then, all the experiences she has had, she had lost faith in those words. No matter how kind the Straw Hats were, Nico Robin was just too big of a burden to bear, and anyone, no matter how kind, would betray her, would betray a demon. Luffy changes that, and it is done in a way which is one of the major reasons Luffy is one of my favorite characters in all of media. Luffy always makes things feel earned. It's like Oda has a way with Luffy, he just never fails. And that way is not forcing help on anyone, on Robin, on Nami, on Sanji, but demanding they hope again, demanding Robin hopes again. The reason this means so much thematically and for what Robin has gone through is 1. No one can bear the burden of having Nico Robin in this world, apparently. And even the people that do help Nico Robin since Saul, they do it for an ulterior motive, for a bounty, or the knowledge she possesses of reading the poneglyphs. Luffy asking Robin here to tell him that she wants to live in chapter 398 completely goes against everything that Nico Robin has gone through. The first thing it does is Luffy is ready to bear the burden of a demon, but not for gaining anything, which is then solidified by Luffy's actions here, which is something he does and has done many times in the story. Luffy is someone who will stand by your side but won't help you until you hope yourself first and want his help. Luffy's hand is always there to protect his friends as long as they don't lose hope. Luffy doesn't lift a finger, he won't help Robin until Robin herself wants help, which also goes against the second experience she has had in her life, given help because of personal gain. Not in Luffy's case. Luffy 1 won't leave her side and is ready to bear the burden and also won't force his help on her until she hopes again, as Saul told her to. For the first time since Saul, Robin has been treated by someone not as a demon but as a friend in the most dire of situations. Robin is not a demon to the Straw Hats, an image she never desired and always wanted to reject. She has someone now who treats her as a normal friend. The demon idea is also played by Oda with Chopper. Chopper's flashback plays heavily with this idea in a little bit more straightforward sort of way than Robin's. Chopper has accepted that he is scary, creepy, and a monster and a demon. All the things he doesn't want to be, he has come to accept them. Dr. Hiruluk's role in his life, the kindness that Dr. Hiruluk showed him, he doesn't seem to believe he deserves it in a natural sort of way. He considers the natural order of things to be how they are. Him being a demon, him being rejected, him considered creepy by anyone who he meets. When Chopper first meets Dr. Hiruluk, or rather before he meets him, he tries his best to mesh with reindeers or even tries his luck with humans, being denied again and again in the most cruel way you could imagine. Getting hurt by approaching people in his demon type form is so normal now that when Dr. Hiruluk first approaches him, he lashes out, and when he finds kindness, he is dumbfounded with what's happening. What he thinks of his time with Dr. Hiruluk as he grows up even after Hiruluk's death more and more seems like to him a sort of an exception that happened. Hiruluk was just someone special who accepted a demon as his friend until, of course, Luffy comes along. And here again, Luffy does exactly what makes Chopper go with him. Chopper until now has been rejected because he is apparently a monster. Luffy, on the other hand, is excited by the fact and actually even calls Chopper a monster, which Chopper hears only a part of. So Luffy wants Chopper for what he has been rejected for all his life, since eating that devil fruit. Chopper even tries to confirm it and make Luffy understand that he isn't human, they can't be friends, and even if Luffy does become Chopper's friend, it would just be an exception type of case, like with what happened with Hiruluk. To which Luffy replies, "Shut up and come with us." I love Luffy. So basically, what happens is Chopper tries to make Luffy understand the danger of something Luffy only looks at the bright side of and keeps insisting, and Chopper eventually is persuaded to join the crew because of also what Hiruluk said, the sea is filled with miracles, anything is possible. So how does Wano work as a sort of completion to these demon titles that both Robin and Chopper have? Well, there is a sort of a build up to it as well. As great as Luffy is for carrying Robin's burden and for loving Chopper for who he is, the Straw Hats still aren't strong enough to hold on to these promises in the early parts of the story, which is first implied in Thriller Bark through Gecko Moria. Then the final blow is handed to the Straw Hats in Sabao the Archipelago, with Marineford acting as a final touch to Luffy's continuous failures. Luffy alone getting stronger won't amount to anything until the people he protects and intends to protect get stronger too, meaning not just accept help but also are trustworthy enough to give it back to their crew. All of this is built through the time skip Fishman Island with Chopper meeting Caesar and Sanji, someone who doesn't consider himself worthy enough asking for help, and that too from Robin, who was never trusted by anyone in her life. With Chopper, the monster he has always sort of wanted to reject, even after meeting Luffy, and Robin, who still doesn't want to be considered a demon, would happily accept these titles for their captain, their friends. Chopper, when first offered this idea of maximizing his abilities by Caesar, clearly doesn't like it, but eventually, for his friends, he will become a monster, if that's what it takes. Something he also mentions in Fishman Island, and he also does it in NES Lobby while attempting to rescue Robin, but fully goes with it in Wano and accepts it with a smile. With Robin, who was never trusted by anyone and couldn't trust anyone, NES Lobby was her finally getting friends she could trust. And even though she is trusted by other Straw Hats, in Wano her friends trusting her back comes full circle with Sanji, someone who saw no worth in himself and his dreams, even took his dreams lightly as shown in the Baratie arc. For Sanji to be the one to ask Robin for help is the greatest payoff you could ask for, which Oda concludes with the chapter Demonio, chapter 10:21, where Robin tells Black Maria she will become a devil if that's what it takes to help the people that count on her, that trust her, resembling Chopper, who also says the same thing in the story. This conclusion of acceptance for Robin and Chopper is just extremely well done in my opinion. Well, that's all for this one. A Zoro and Sanji version of this video is coming soon, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope I will see you next time.